Good morning. So I don't know who I need to tell this to, but I was reminded this, and it took me a long time to understand this. You're just human. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're gonna make mistakes. We all make mistakes. They're chances to learn. They're chances to see your patterns and understand what you're allowing that's toxic in your life. People you need to release, situations that don't serve you. And for the longest time, I would beat myself up, and I was my own worst enemy, right? And my mom used to say that you're your own worst enemy. You're your biggest critic. And I couldn't see that or understand that at the time. But when I became more lenient with myself, more forgiving, more compassionate, I started to realize, oh, okay, I'm not a failure, right? I'm not defined by the things that don't work out for me. Instead, I'm given a new opportunity. And a long time ago, I think I was 19, but I was arrested for a DUI. And honestly, at that time, I was sober enough to pass the sobriety test, but it was because I was a minor, and I got hit with the book. I got all of the biggest fine, the biggest punishment, all of the things they could possibly give me, the lessons to teach me. And I was so aggravated at that time. And I couldn't understand, how am I more responsible as a teenager and I'm being held responsible as an adult? But looking back now, I'm like, oh, okay, that was a chance to learn. This is not the path I need to go down. And even back then, I was wild and crazy. So my point is, understand that when you're in a situation to learn, you are going to keep having these repeated events happen to you. So when I had to go to my probation officer, she even asked me, what are you doing here? You don't seem like you belong here. And like I told her, I said, I made a bad decision. And she said, a mistake? And I said, no, it's not a mistake if you learn from it. A mistake is repetitive. You're going to keep doing it over and over and over. I've learned my lesson. And honestly, I did. I learned it in the sense that I'm not going to drink and drive anymore. I'm not going to get caught doing that again. And I didn't. And I changed my behavior. Now, it doesn't mean I didn't stop going out and stop being irresponsible in another aspect. But it was the fact that, okay, I saw that, you're not going to punish me for that again. So understand that where I'm going with this is there's also levels to learning. Like I said, I didn't just cut out all the toxic behavior and say, oh, I'm done. I'm going to go be a nun and never do anything again. No, we experience life. So just understand that if you're making these decisions and you keep almost hitting a brick wall, right? You keep having someone going, let me get your attention, let me get your attention. And you keep, what's going on? It takes time. It takes time to learn a lesson. Just don't make it your entire life. Don't sell yourself short and think because you're in a certain behavior that you're stuck in that behavior. You have conscious thought. You have the ability to choose what is best for your life. And we all go through trial and error, right? Like when you see a baby go from laying on their back to rolling over on their tummy, and then eventually they can sit up, and okay, now they're going to get on their hands and knees, and they're going to eventually stand up, but they're going to hold on to stuff and try to get their footing. Then they might take a step. And then, of course, they're going to fall over and over and over. And as human beings, we're hard on ourselves. We see that I was a child, I should be mature by now. But some of us don't learn how to even crawl until life starts hitting us hard. And a lot of times it doesn't happen until you have your own children, until you start seeing things that happen to that one being you can care the most about, you know, that part of you that you see yourself. Because I mean, looking at my kids, oh my goodness, I have a little Sheena and then I have a big Sheena. I mean, my son's 6 foot tall, but he's still a baby in my eyes, and he's still learning and growing, and my daughter's still learning and growing. But I'm more compassionate with them than I ever was with myself, and having them has actually taught me to stop being hard on myself, that it is okay to fall. It's okay to trip. It's okay to sit down and just go, I can't do anymore. And it's just like today, I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie, I'm human. I'm not a robot. And yesterday was a 12-hour day, and then adding working online with that, and then as soon as I left here, having to rush to drive 30 minutes away to meet a friend, and then walking 5 miles to go trick-or-treating to make it back home, and get here around like 10:30, and then be in bed by 11:30 to be back awake before 6 o'clock. So yeah, I'm a little tired, but that's okay. You know, it's okay that I can push myself for them, and then they understand, okay, now I'm going to take a break. We did that. You had fun. I'm happy. But they also have been taught to understand, and it's the same thing I've had to teach myself. It's okay to miss out. It's okay to step back. It's okay to separate yourself from a situation, to allow yourself the chance to recuperate, you know, to get your thoughts together, to recalibrate, let's say, and say, okay, I've got to figure out, is this the path I want to keep walking down? Because if you look at it like, I'm sure everyone's seen Harry Potter at this point, the shifting staircases, and you're going one way and the path changes and you're like, wait, where am I at? Where am I going? Why am I going here? And you don't know the path that you're going on, but understand that your thoughts are taking you to a destination that you're not clear of. And that's fine. It doesn't mean that you're lost. It just means that you have to constantly be aware, and you have to be prepared, because preparedness is the way to success. When you are living in, that was a surprise, oh my God, that was a shocker, I didn't know how that was going to work. When you live like that, now all of a sudden that afterthought is going to keep you on your knees. It's going to keep you in a constant state of, why did that happen? How did I get here? Instead of understanding forethought, looking at the situation and taking a minute to go, how is that going to affect me? How is that going to alter my life? Where is that going to put me next week or tomorrow or later in the evening? You know, so we have to learn that life is constantly going, and we don't have to run through it. You know, it's okay to go at a snail's pace. One little inch at a time is fine, because you're going to get to where you're going regardless of what you're doing in life. Even if you're sitting still, that's movement. Whether you believe that or not, when you're sitting still, you're thinking. And like my boyfriend says, you're stuck in your head. Get out of your head. And sometimes you need to be in your head. You need to sort through the files that you have created in your mind, let's say, you know, that you did something and you feel guilt, remorse, regret, whatever it is. Maybe you feel elated, happy, excited. No matter the emotion, it's still something that you're going to cling to, right? It's still something you're going to consider. Don't get stuck on the concept of how you're feeling, but instead see what that feeling's trying to tell you. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry. Don't know where I left off, because of course someone came in and I had to have a conversation. But actually, he came in yesterday, and he's a great example of what I was just talking about. 2 years ago, he made a decision that greatly changed his life. and hasn't seen freedom in 2 years. And we talked yesterday, and I had to help him because he's in a tough spot and he's very far from home. So he's on his way home today, and he actually is dealing with fear, being nervous. I don't know what's going to happen, where I'm going to go, how they're going to accept me when I get home. And like I told him, you're being given a second chance in life. You're being shown that the actions that you made, this could be the life you could live, and he was given a long time to think about it. So now that he's heading home, he's going back and forth between all these feelings of, I'm excited, but I'm nervous, and I don't know how this is going to go. So like I told him, just stay positive, know that everything's going to work out. Your family's going to accept you with open arms. They love you. And just keep moving forward and understand that you are given that chance. But also understand, when you're given another chance, you have to choose to start taking a different path than what you were comfortable on. And most people are used to this pattern, right? Go back to what I was talking about earlier. So the patterns that we create for ourselves, they're comfort zones. But a comfort zone doesn't necessarily leave room for growth or improvement in your life, or better understandings as you get older. Because in order for you to get off of your hands and knees, you do have to pick yourself up a little bit more, take a more guided step rather than the afterthought, right? How did I get here? What happened? Why did I do that? And then beating yourself up. So just that reminder that you are human, that you are going to have trials and tribulations. It is okay. There's a saying that I don't think we've heard in a long time. To err is to human. And I used to hate that saying, but now it makes total sense, because we are flawed individuals, and that is perfectly fine. But we're not flawed in a sense that we are worthless, because you do have that light and that dark. You do have that angel and that demon, right? You do have the two sides of you that want to experience life in the fullest. But when you allow the one side to speak too much to you, and you to the other, whichever side it is, being too much in the light, I have learned, can be toxic. You try to start striving for perfection, and that's not possible. You are human. You are not going to be perfect. And nobody in this world needs to view you as perfect. If that's what they demand, get them out of your life. Because that was my past relationship. Someone who demanded that I take me out of me. But when he met me, I was y'all this and hey y'all, and just, there was a lot of country in me because I came from a small town. And I worked really hard to educate myself and use words that came out of a thesaurus to talk to a society that didn't even comprehend what I was saying. And that was to walk a fine line someone else painted for me. And when I got away from that, I'm okay going, you know what? If I want to say, hey y'all, or it just comes out of me, I no longer try to be perfect to control how the world is going to perceive me. You get what you get. And I'm fine with that. Took a long time to be fine with that. But the constriction that I took away from my heart, my mind, my spirit, my soul, it allowed me to stand up and hold on to something, like look around and start taking those small steps. And then once I could do that and I could start getting rid of the thoughts from the past, it allowed me to be more flexible with my children and more open with the world and more loving, to be able to remind whoever needs to hear this, you don't need to be perfect. You will choke yourself to death trying to make the world see you as something that you're not. And just understand that you were created the way that you're created for your purpose. And you You serve a purpose in this world. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And don't let anyone tell you how to walk, talk, breathe, behave. Be you, and be unapologetically you. Because, like I said, to err is to human. And embrace that. And feel every moment that's going to come your way. If you feel sad, okay, feel sad. If you feel regretful, understand why, but don't hang on to that and live your life in regret, because you're not going to get those moments back. That's the one thing you're not going to get back. Understand, you might be given another chance to repeat that lesson. That's that pattern. So when you start to see these things, pick your staircase, right? Choose wisely. And don't keep going in a circle. Don't get to a point where you're so mad at yourself that you're standing still going, I'm not doing anything. And then you just let your life pass you by. Because regardless of what you choose, you're still going to age. You're still going to keep moving. You can't stop the movement. So just a quick little reminder of you're perfect the way you are. Don't let anyone change that for you. It took a long time for me to understand that, and hopefully this message gets to whoever needs to hear it. And I love you, and peace, love, and light, and have a great day.